Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. On today's show, I'm joined again by Simon Price, CEO of a family-owned silversmith business, Arthur Price. And Charlie Green from Britain's Got Talent is here with a beautiful song recorded just for Cuppa TV. My final guest is a lady that uses her ability as a writer to inspire others to do the same, Julie Baldwin. My first guest is someone you may have already seen before on Cuppa TV, CEO Simon Price of Arthur Price, who has brought along the next generation of cutlery to show us today. Simon, welcome back to Cuppa TV. Thank you so much for coming back again. Thank you. Now, what have you brought along to show us today?
We brought our latest pattern, which is available in June, which celebrates my great-grandfather, who started the company in 1902. The patterns were named by my father, and my son and myself are taking it to market in June. So it's a lovely heritage, a story, but also just showing the beautiful designs and sleek lines.
Absolutely.
For the next generation.
That's wonderful. Well, it's wonderful to see. What I'd like to say today is just, everybody's got cutlery. We all have cutlery. But can you just talk us through the actual names of the pieces? Do they have different names? And I want to talk about how we actually wash them, because some people think this sort of silverware can't actually go in the dishwasher. Is this safe for the dishwasher?
Everything's safe for the dishwasher.
Right.
The trouble with dishwashers is that we've got human beings involved, and they tend to put too much of this and too much of that, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning. But everything can go in the dishwasher. So stainless steel, which this is, or silver plate can go in. What you've got to remember is that if silver plate is tarnished, which inevitably will not take the tarnish off.
Right,
You'll just end up with clean tarnish.
So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 piece. Is this a standard set?
Standard English combination. In America you'd have 5 pieces, but over here we'd have 7.
So take us through. So we've got the
So you have a table knife and you have a table fork.
Yes.
So you have a dessert knife or a bread and butter knife and a dessert fork, a dessert spoon, a soup spoon and a teaspoon.
Now, out of those, which is the one that tends to go missing?
The teaspoon.
Yes.
Like white socks.
Yes. It's very true, though, isn't it?
I know.
That's it.
They get thrown away.
Yes, that's right. So do you think about that, when you're manufacturing?
We do. I mean, we've got under our kitchen range, we have a specially designed combination, which is a 30-piece. So you've got 6 extra teaspoons in that combination.
Oh, what a great idea.
So if you lose them, it's not so much of a problem.
Because it is. It's one of those things, isn't it? You always tend to lose the spoons. And with this particular beautiful signature range you've brought out, where do you hope that this is going to go? So do you hope this is going to become one of your best sellers?
Yes, I do. I think it'll be great for the wedding market. It's great because it comes in boxes rather than cabinets.
Right.
It can go in people's drawers. I think actually we've just shown this at a couple of trade shows, and there's nobody who goes, "Oh, I don't like it." It's about which of the 2 patterns they like best.
It's interesting actually because it comes in a box. You said, and often Arthur Price comes in a canteen, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
have you seen a sort of a shift in what the customer wants there?
Absolutely. Cabinets are still quite popular, but they're not. 30 years ago, that was basically all you could buy, a set of cutlery, and probably from the jewellers. But now it's more department stores. It's much more, the world has become a lot more casual in the way of eating in the kitchen, so there isn't really a room for a cabinet in there.
Yeah, that's very true, isn't it? Because you often you've got the canteen of cutlery, and where do you put it?
Exactly.
Where this is going to be more accessible.
Absolutely, yes.
And then from this range, is there any more in the pipeline?
There's lots more. There's lots more.
Would you like to tell us about
any
here on Cuppa TV?
Funny enough, it's this time of the year we start thinking about 2016, which is a bit early, but hey, you've got to start thinking about it. But my next job really is to come up with 2 more patterns. Exactly packaged the same way, but hopefully to come out in February next year.
Do you work with the craftsmen yourself on the designs? How do you come up with a design?
Well, there's lots of ways. I mean, we work with designers, so we work with the likes of Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen and Sophie Conran, Clive Christian, people like that, who obviously create their own design with us. But we're very keen to see what's out in the marketplace. Can it be made? Can it be made for that price? What product is it made of? The one thing which we will never do is bring our quality backwards. So the gauge, the thickness of the product has to be right to have the name on it, and the product has to be made of the right materials.
Oh, that's
because
fantastic.
it's guaranteed for so long.
And this one's guaranteed for
50 years.
50 years. I mean, again, that's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
50-year guarantee.
I had somebody come in to see me about a year ago. I do talks at the office in our showroom, and this guy put his hand up and said, you know, what would you do if somebody came in and said, I've had your cutlery for 51 years? I said, well, what could I say? I said, I'd replace it.
Yes.
So he went into our shop and said, your boss had just said you'd replace this cutlery which I've got with me. So we did.
Fantastic.
I think it's a bit embarrassing.
So you stick to your word.
I do, yeah, absolutely. No, you've got to, haven't you?
Absolutely.
You've got to.
Simon, it's been so lovely to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you very much. So my next guest is a child star from Britain's Got Talent, Charlie Green. He's joined us again on Cuppa TV to sing to us today, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So Charlie, welcome to Cuppa TV again.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to see you again.
Good to see you.
So before you start singing, what have you been doing since we last saw you? Anything?
Well, I've just recorded my music video, which should be released soon. So
Excellent.
at the moment it's through the editing stage and stuff. So
is that going to be released in the summertime?
that's going to be released in the summer, maybe
Great.
before the summer, before the album comes out.
Oh, fantastic. So again, is it something you've been working quite hard on? You've been in the studios at the moment, have you?
It's taken a long time to get ready, but hopefully that's a good sign, and it's going to be a really good album.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be great, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Right, Charlie's now going to sing for us. So Charlie, I'm going to hand over to you and let you do your
Well, I
stuff.
can tell you that this song was my audition piece for Britain's Got Talent, and this is
fantastic.
Simon Cowell's favourite number.
Brilliant.
So I hope you enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Charlie, over to Charlie.
The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there, touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind. Like painted kites, those days and nights went flying by. The world was new beneath the blue umbrella sky. Then, softer than a piper man, one day it called to you. I lost you to the summer wind, the autumn wind and the winter wind, they have come and gone. But still the days, those lonely days, go on and on. And guess who sighs his lullabies through nights that never end? My fickle friend, the summer wind. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? And butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace, one day it's done, that's what I mean. And this whole world is a new world and a bold world for me, for me.
Charlie, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. That was so good. Now, that was the song you sang to Simon Cowell, and that was the one he said, I really, really like you.
Well, yeah, that was it. But
that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's just wonderful for you to come and sing it with us on Cuppa TV.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming back and joining us again
Pleasure.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. My final guest today is a lady that's written for most of her life and has published 2 books and on the way with the 3rd. But she uses her writing as a tool to inspire others to follow their dreams. Please welcome Julie Baldwin. Julie, lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for coming on Cuppa TV.
Lovely to be here, Monica.
Wonderful. And you brought your books with you,
I have,
we'll
yes.
talk about those. But let's start with your story, Julie. Tell me where you started. How did it all begin for you?
Okay, well, it actually started back at school. I had a bit of a rough trot of it at school, bullies and, you know, lost a lot of time off school as a result. And I was fortunate that I had a really passionate about English, English teacher, and he really inspired me to stick at it. You know, even with the amount of time that I'd lost from school, he would say, look, Julie, don't worry about it, just read. The more you read, the better your writing will get, the better your skills will get. And I listened to everything Mr. Ratcliffe said, and it really gave me that impetus, and I wrote for a lot of years, just for my own pleasure, creatively at home. And I started to write my first novel in 1987, but then life kind of got in the way and I didn't finish it. I got a job, and it took me then until 2013 before I actually thought, you know, Julie, if you don't do this now, you're never going to do it.
And what was it? Was there any one moment that made you think that? Did anything happen, or was it just you thought this is the right time?
I was 50. Sorry, I was 27.
27.
27.
You only
27.
look 21.
No, I reached 50 and I figured if I don't do it now, chances are I'm never going to do it. And you meet so many people in your life that say to you, oh, I could write a book. I've got a book, I'm starting to write a book, but they never do. And up until that point, I was one of those people. I always said, I'm going to do it, but I never did. And I just figured, if I don't do it now, then I never will.
Never going to do it.
And I did.
So how did you start? What was the process? Did you suddenly take yourself off to a room and sit down and start writing? How did you even sort of get the first inspiration for? Was it The Tin Man?
The Tin Man was my first book.
Okay,
yes.
so
The inspiration for that actually is quite close to home. I have most of my family aren't blood relations, and I wanted to write something with that kind of a theme where family is just as important. You don't have to have blood there for it to be family. And that was kind of the inspiration behind that book. But it spans over 5 decades, goes from the 40s right the way through to modern times America.
Oh, fantastic. And you write under the name of T.S. Harvey.
I do,
don't you?
yes.
So tell us about that. How did you get to have that name?
Okay, I decided to have a pseudonym, because Julie Baldwin sounds like she should be working at an office in Walsall, which she does. And the T and the S are my daughters, Tracy and Sue Ellen, and the Harvey is one of my grandsons. I've got 2 grandsons, Harvey and Oliver, and I couldn't choose between them, so we put names on a piece of paper. My mum picked one out, and it was Harvey.
And that's how it was.
So I could have been T.S. Oliver instead of T.S. Harvey.
But you're happy with that name?
Absolutely, yes.
And again, when you write when you were writing the Tin Man, your very first story, did it come quite naturally, or did you find you had to stop and then start again, or what was the process like for you?
My methodology when I'm writing is I can't even start to write until I've got the ending.
Right. So you start at the end.
I don't start at the end. I start with my beginning, but I can't start my beginning until I know how the book's going to end. A lot of writers don't want to know where the book is going. They want it to take them on a different kind of a journey. Whereas with me, I've got to know where it's ending, which is a little bit strange, really, because with the Tin Man, I originally intended killing one of the main characters at the end of it. But by the time I got 3 parts the way through writing, I got so attached to him, I couldn't kill him. So I had to go back and rewrite huge swathes of the book and introduce another character. So I'd got a very similar ending to the one that I'd planned.
Oh, so he didn't deserve to be killed?
No, I couldn't kill him.
Well, I haven't read that one. But no, so it's really is then a process where do you take yourself off to a room and write by yourself, or do you need music, or how do you do it?
I write with the TV on. I put my feet up on the sofa, put the laptop on, and just start typing away. And everything else seems to just blur into the background.
Incredible. And are your family supportive of what you do?
Incredibly. I've got the most magnificent network of family and friends. In particular, a lady called Pauline that lives up north. She's just pushing me and pushing me and pushing me with this so hard, and it's so encouraging. And I have like a little network of guinea pigs who read all my drafts for me.
Is that important? Because quite a lot of writers have that, don't
Absolutely.
they? So what do you gain from that? Is it just constructive feedback, or what do you gain?
Yeah, 2 things really. There's the constructive feedback, like you say, but there's also the picking up the typos. Because when you're self-publishing, like I did with the Tin Man, it's very difficult to spot your own errors. It's easier when you pick somebody else's work up from fresh. But I've learned from the process now that once I've done the first draft, I put it to one side. I'll leave it for a fortnight before I pick it back up, before I start doing any editing on it.
Now, also, you like to go out and inspire others, don't you?
Absolutely.
How do you feel we are as far as literacy is concerned in our schools, Julie? Have you got any thoughts or views on that?
Yeah. I think that schools try really hard. The school I went to, Kingsmead, I went back there for World Book Day. Well, it was actually the day before. I did a talk for Walsall College on World Book Day itself.
Which is very popular, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's still a very popular thing. But
Absolutely.
do you feel that children are into books as much now?
I thought not, but the encouraging signs from Kingsmead is that they are. Particularly the class 12 to 13-year-olds because I did 3 classes that day, the 12 to 13-year-olds, the questions that they were coming up with, the enthusiasm, it's really quite heartwarming, yes. But Kingsmead is particularly good at encouraging that.
And what do you do? Do you go in and talk to them about your experiences as a writer? How does it work?
Absolutely. Well, rather than go in and just dictate a conversation to the children, I give them a quick introduction to who I am and what I've written and why I think literacy is important, particularly in society today where everybody's texting and it's all text speak, and the importance of maintaining the educational standards.
And do you find do they engage with you, Julie?
Absolutely, particularly since I wrote Winter of Discontent.
Tell us about, this is your latest
one,
is that right?
Yes.
So tell us about that. Tell us a quick synopsis of that book.
It's supernatural. My eldest granddaughter, Sarah, whose name I've used as the main character in the book, asked me would I write something that was more of a young adult genre. And I figured when she said that, well, yes, that's something that would help me get into the schools, that would be able to engage in conversation, something that's more for them, that's based on the sort of things that they're interested in. And Sarah and Eric are the main characters. Eric's always known he was a warlock. Sarah, however, has absolutely no idea whatsoever that she isn't human, she's a witch. And it's very difficult because his relationship with her is such that as they get closer, he could accidentally release her magic. And for various reasons, I don't want to go into too many spoilers, absolutely. For obvious reasons, he doesn't want to release her magic until she's capable of dealing with it. because she hasn't grown up with
So
it.
where can people buy that book?
These
Julie?
are
Is it
print on
at
demand
Green-
and on Kindle
Fine.
as well, or they can go for the 4 Seasons, they can go to the Accent Press website and they can buy them there as well.
And you're writing a third, aren't you?
I
So
am,
is this
yes.
a sequel to the one that you've already written?
It is, yes, yes. The first one is 4 Seasons Winter of Discontent, and the second one, 4 Seasons Spring of Fools, is due out on the 9th of April.
Oh, this year?
This year, yes.
Fantastic. Again,
Yeah.
would that be available for people to through Kindle? Or?
Through
Yeah.
Kindle and print on demand, yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. So how do you see your future, Julie? What would you like to be, say, in 5 years' time? Where would you like to be?
Oh, crikey, that's a tough one, that is, Monica. You know how to ask them. Probably in the castle next to JK's.
Was it? Wouldn't that be good?
It would, but realistically and truthfully, even if my books went as stellar as hers did, no, I want to live in Walsall. I love Walsall. Walsall's great.
Which is
Yeah,
why you've
yeah.
come along today.
Absolutely.
On TV to,
Yeah,
you know, to
yeah. I
show
wouldn't.
us
I
what
wouldn't
you
want to
can
live
do.
anywhere else but the Walsall area.
Would you consider writing a book about Walsall?
I would. Yes, absolutely.
Are any of your characters based in Walsall?
They aren't, but in my mind's eye, when I'm
Yes.
writing, if I'm writing about a street, because all my books are based in the US, when I'm writing about a street, I'll have Lower All Lane in mind, or when I'm writing about the school, it's my school that I went to, Kingsmead. So I've
lovely.
got points of you know,
Reference, really.
points of reference, yes.
Fantastic. Well, Julie, it's been so lovely. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for
It's been
inviting
lovely to meet
me.
you, and I look forward to reading your next one.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you.
So that's it for today. I would like to thank all of my guests for joining Cuppa TV. And if you would like to get in touch with us, you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV, or you can email the show and share us your stories. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.